I just thought I'd give an update on where things are at on the unemployment compensation. 2 days ago, I got a stack of letters from the Employment Commission and the handbook, what you have to do and what not to do to stay eligible. It's pretty simple. You just have to apply for 5 jobs a week. Here's the interesting thing. Let's see if we can figure out just how screwed up things are thanks to different bureaucracies, whether they be public or private. In all these letters, got another one on education, what's available for education, job search record, tax form, it's a statement of what you've made, because in Texas, and I'm sure most states are probably like this, they go by the last 4 quarters. However, how much you've made the last 4 quarters determines your amount of eligibility. So that's a statement of that. It's just online instructions. Basically 5 job contacts a week, starting on the 24th, January 24th, 2016. And basically, here's a letter. This is the first one you get, and it says basically that they are sending you all this information about, you know, since you've applied for benefits. And he sent me like 4 letters. And the most important and probably misleading is this one that tells your, you know, how they judge what you're eligible for. There's a couple points I want to cover in this particular video. I'll try to do it as fast as I can. This letter here gives the overall impression, I mean, the overwhelming impression that you've got it, you're eligible, and here's what you're going to get. There's one sentence in all of these letters that say, you talk about the devil being in the details, it says, if we determine that you're eligible, then here's all the things, all this crap that they've sent you, this is what will come into play. Just one sentence tells you that, oh, we haven't approved you yet. Don't get that impression. It's if we approve you. Why do they even bother sending all this nonsense? If they don't determine ahead of time that you're eligible, they need to determine that. How about trying to save the taxpayers some money in wasted paper and postage if you're not eligible? Okay, now here's one of the main points I wanted to cover with this. The amount that it says here, the maximum amount I can receive in 1 year, in 1 benefit year. I've been through this before, but the last time that I went through all this, YouTube wasn't around, so I didn't get to record the annals of the misery of being on unemployment. But anyway, the maximum amount, here's the point that I seriously want to make. Okay, the maximum amount that I'm eligible for in a year, and I'm at the top level of what anyone is eligible for in the state, is $10,348. Now, I'm not complaining about that. Let me get that crystal clear. I'm not complaining about that. What my point is I'm trying to illustrate how people spiral downward into poverty from a 50K job, which that was in my case, to 10,000. Now, if you're trying to maintain anything resembling that lifestyle that you had at 50, 60, 70, 80, 100,000, whatever, 10,000 is the most you're going to get in a year. You think you're going to be poor? Okay, now a lot of real cynics out there would say, well, that's just that much more incentive to hurry up and get a job. Well, let me tell you something. You can take a bucket of water and set it out anywhere, and if you got a fishing pole and you drop a line into it, the best bait in the world on the end of that hook ain't going to catch a fish. Okay. Meaning the job market stinks, in case you didn't catch that. Okay, here's the other thing. This is what's so jacked up about the situation. I get a phone call yesterday from a caseworker. The caseworker wants to clarify some facts. Because when I originally applied, I said that I quit. And I told you before that if you quit or get fired, that greatly diminishes your chance of getting unemployment benefits. Unless there's certain circumstances that are very extenuating. I said crystal clearly in that application process the first time around, I said the employer created an extremely dangerous situation with excessive layoffs in my department, and one man could not safely do that job anymore. That's why I quit. Okay, I got a phone call yesterday from a caseworker. The caseworker says, I need some more information. I said, okay, no problem. She said, according to what your employer told us, they said you were laid off due to a reduction in force. There wasn't enough work. I said, I said, that's true. However, that wasn't my case. She said, well, you said in your application that you quit. Did you quit or were you laid off? I said, I quit, but I may very well have been on a layoff list because in the past year there were 7 layoffs and we knew another one was about to begin. So here's the thing. The employer's telling the caseworker one thing, I'm telling them another, and I'm being totally honest and upfront about what happened and how it happened, which is against me anyway because I quit. The employer may have been thinking that they were doing me a favor by saying that I was laid off and that would help me get unemployment benefits, which if that's the case, I appreciate, of course. They said the employer also said that you were given a 1 month severance. I said, well, that's news to me. And she said, well, they didn't tell you that? No one told you that? I said, no, ma'am, and I have not got it as of yet. Anyway, she writes all this down and she says, yeah, give me a moment. And I kind of give her a background about how there were 7 layoffs last year and all this, yada, yada. No doubt, in the caseworker's mind, there's this. Normally, someone would lie and say I was laid off when in fact they were either fired or they quit in order to fraudulently get benefits. Well, I was totally honest and upfront about I quit. Yes, I quit. Okay, and here's why. And I think I'm entitled to unemployment benefits because the employer created literally a life-threatening situation of having one person in the position of trying to maintain a 500-acre facility by himself. I think I'm entitled on those grounds. No, but I tell them I quit because of that. But in the caseworker's mind, this is totally opposite of what they would normally encounter. The employer says he was laid off, but he's claiming he quit. Most of the time they claim they were laid off, and the employer says they were fired or they quit. And so the caseworker's going, man, so I have no idea where things are at. They said, we'll contact you in a couple of days about if you're eligible or not. So all of this that they've sent me could be, it just goes to show you shouldn't plan or count on anything. And the employer, I gave a written reason that I was quitting. It was on paper. I quit, and it was for this reason. That's what they should have told the Employment Commission. If they had any thought of doing me a favor like that, well, I can see the nobility of that. You just should tell the truth and be straightforward about it. I wasn't laid off. I didn't get a severance. But now, in the mind of the employment people, that's complicated my case for no reason. That's the joy of dealing with bureaucrats. On both sides, and the state and the private employer. And here I am, I'm just trying to wade through this. So anyway, I got to get back to my updating resumes and getting applications out.